listening to Dharma Review, the show where we talk about what's important to you, the spiritual seeker and practitioner. You've been listening to the Srinivas Bhajan Kirtan Band singing Guru Parane. And now our very special guest, Tulsidasananda.
It's really fun to have a very special guest this morning. We're talking this morning with Tulsidasananda. Tell us, Tulsi, you have recently arrived from your home ashram, which is based in Germany, and I know you've traveled lots of other countries and everything, talking about Om chanting, meditation, and Kriya Yoga. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing here in the U.S. this time?
Well, it's really nice to be here. Thank you very much, Pavan Pujadas. So I'm here because our teacher, Paramahansa Vishwananda, will be coming next month in May here in Bellingham area, May 27th. And so I'm just coming to speak about him, speak about his teachings, speak about my experiences with him, so that everybody has the opportunity to meet an amazing God-realized person.
Interesting. You know, you gave a talk at the Bellingham Institute of Noetic Science yesterday evening. I was there, and I thought it was really, really amazing. You introduced this technique to everyone there. And after an extraordinarily beautiful talk on what being love is all about, by sharing some very personal first-hand stories. And I would love it if you could share something with us now about your personal experience with Swami Vishwananda.
So I met him 11 years ago. I was 18 years old, and I was living at another ashram. Mm-hmm. And one of the residents of this ashram told me that, hey, this amazing man is coming. And when I met him 1 month later, the love, the peace, the kindness that permeated the room, that he exuded through every pore of his body, was something I had never experienced, something I didn't even believe was possible. And immediately when I met him, I knew this is the person I want to follow, because I want to be like him. I want to love the way he loves. And so I moved to the ashram 6 months later, and I've had the great fortune to live literally next door to him for 11 years. And even though he's completely God-realized, which he has proven many, many times, his intimate love that he has for his devotees is always awe-inspiring. For example, he has proven many times, like all the great masters, that they're able to, that the past and the future and the present are not hidden from them. Mm. And our thoughts are not hidden from them. That they know us better than we know ourselves. And even though he does not need to speak to any of the devotees, because he knows everything, and he can inspire us in infinite amount of ways, yet he does the most seemingly mundane things to inspire us, to love us. For example, one day I had to speak to him, so I went to his room, and he said, "Oh yeah, just one moment, please sit. I need to make some phone calls." I said, "Okay." So I sit down, and he asked me to sit in a place where I could easily hear him and the person on the other line. And so he picks up his landline, right, which is something that he rarely uses because, like every modern saint, they have a cell phone now. So usually he calls everybody with a cell phone. But he calls on his landline, and the first person picks up, because he did this about 12 times, and they pick up, "Hello?" And he goes, "Jai Gurudev." This is our greeting. This means victory to the Guru, victory to the divine teacher that is seated inside everyone. And they go, "Ah, Swami!" And he goes, Jay Guru Dev, how are you? Oh, I'm great. I'm great. And they're. It was amazing to hear them. Hello. There was such a low vibration in their voice. They were confused. They didn't. Who is this? I don't know. And as soon as their divine teacher makes himself known, they get super excited, and I could feel the vibration. I could hear the love in their voice go from hello, Swami, and then they would talk for maybe 1 to 3 minutes only, where he would say, "Oh, how are you?" Da da da, and this excitement would turn into calm love. And as soon as that would happen, he would go, "Oh, okay. Sorry, I need to go now." "Oh, yes, okay, Guruji. When will I see you next?" "Oh, I'll be coming next week." "Oh, good. I'm looking forward to seeing you." "Hey, Jai Gurudev, bye. Bye, Swami." Click. Then he would pick up the phone and he would do it again. First time, I was like, "Oh, that's nice." Second time, I was like, it was the same thing. And I thought, okay, why is he doing this? Third time, why is he doing this? Fourth time, why is he doing this? Because he knows how they're doing better than they know how they're doing. And I'm thinking, he doesn't need to call them to find out how they're doing. And then about the sixth person, I started laughing, and I realized he was not calling for himself. He was calling for them. He was calling to remind them that God loves them and God is thinking of them, that even if they're physically apart from their teacher, they are never far away from his thoughts and his heart. And every single person, as soon as they went from this excitement to this calm love, this remembrance that God loves them, he would say, "Okay, I have to go, sorry," and he would hang up. Intimate love that he has for his devotees is always inspiring. This because he doesn't love only in a detached way, in a way that is far removed. Like, I am God realized. I love you all the same, and because you are all equal to me. I mean, this is true. Everyone is equal to him. Why? Because he loves them so much. He loves each and every person completely. He loves them to the depths of their soul. And he loves everyone like that. And it's amazing. I mean, as he's God realized, I've seen more miracles than I can remember. And none of them compare to the amount of love that he shows everyone. Even the most random stranger on the street. It's amazing. And there's so many stories of people just walking right up to him and saying, "Who are you?" And they need to get to know him. And he's wearing like normal Western clothes. He's not in robes. He's not wearing a tilak. He's not looking Hindu. He's just like a normal guy. And they can feel that he's not normal. And when he gives darshan, this is a blessing. It's been up to 20, 22 hours where he just sits in his chair and there's a line of people and they come for the blessing. I think the most was something like 5,000 people in Portugal. And he remembers each and every one of those people.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. And we've all seen it so many times where he will finish giving darshan to somebody and say, "Oh, I'm so happy to see you again." And they're like, and he goes, "You were here 2 years ago, right?" And they had only met, they hadn't even spoken. They had only met during this blessing.
Wow. Yeah.
And how can he remember such a thing? It's because he loves so much. If somebody loves cars and there's a random comment about the new Volkswagen or whatever, that person's going to remember. Why? Because they love cars. And Guruji loves people so much that he remembers every little thing about them. It's fascinating. It's moving. And after living with him for 11 years, I have never seen him command anyone to do anything, which is very different than traditional guru-disciple relationship. Traditionally, especially like in India, if the guru The Guru doesn't ask. The Guru commands. And if you don't listen, well, there's the door. You're wasting my time. Get out. Yeah? Because they understand that the Guru is only there out of service. He's only telling you what to do, not for himself, but to help you on your spiritual way. And out of Guruji's humility, he doesn't do that. He'll suggest. But if you don't do it, what does he care? His love for us is never changing. Nothing I do, which I've done some things, changes his love for me. And I've seen him do that with everyone. Absolutely everyone.
Even when you feel so guilt-ridden because you know you did something or didn't do something, and
yeah,
you're almost afraid to be in his presence. Have you had that experience?
Oh, yeah. So I was living at the ashram maybe 6 months, and a situation arose, and afterwards I felt so guilty. I felt so bad. And I thought, for sure, because I know he knows everything, he's going to come back and look at me and say, Tulsidas, get out of here. Like, I have given you a chance to live here at the ashram. You are one of 20 people who live here, and I have thousands of devotees. And so, get out. Like, you totally are, you're wasting my time. There's so many other people who'd rather be here, who would do better than you. This was my thinking. And he was traveling, he was gone for 10 days. And this guilt, this thought, turned into not an expectation that he will do this, but this is truth. When he comes back, this is going to happen. That's it. There's just no other way about it. And so when he got back, I thought, well, I might as well just tear off the Band-Aid and just go tell him and pack my stuff. That's it. So I walked up to him. I said, Guruji? He goes, yeah? I said, I have something to confess. And he looked shocked. Because usually, right, when people are guilty, they run away, right? And he looked at me and he goes, okay, tell me. And I explained the situation. And he said, well, if you don't like it, don't do it again. And he was turning to walk away. Now, his love and kindness was so supreme that it's nonchalant.
Huh.
It was just like, well, don't do it again. And he's walking away. Like, this is not a big deal whatsoever. But this was so outside of my paradigm. I did not understand. I didn't get it. And I went, do you still love me? And in this moment, he became upset. He turned around and he said, have I ever said, I don't love you? And then he walked away. Guruji, everything that a master says is directly from the divine. Everything. Everything they do is directly from the divine. There is no ego because they're completely surrendered to the divine. But there's sometimes when Guruji speaks, he goes into a different state. And it's, for lack of better words, it's like the universe is talking to you. It is like the vast universe has condensed itself into this man, and the universe is speaking to you. And this is one of those moments. This, have I ever told you I don't love you? Imagine the universe saying that to you.
Wow. Yeah, it's powerful.
Yeah. So then I walked away, and I started to think about the scriptures, right? So I grew up as a Lutheran, so I've read the Bible. So I'm going through, especially the Gospels in my head. Then I'm going through the Gita, the Bhagavad Gita from Krishna, the Uddhava Gita, which also Krishna spoke to Uddhava, the Srimad Bhagavatam, and I've read parts of the Quran. And it's true. God has never said, if you do this, I won't love you. God's never said that. Ever. God's never said that. Many people have said God has said that. And many people say that about each other. You do this, I won't love you anymore. But God has never said this. God has never said, if you do this, I don't love you. No. God has only said, I love you, my child. I love you, my child. My love is unwavering. There's only 3 eternal truths. Everything else comes and goes, but there's only 3 eternal truths. And that is, God is eternal, we are eternal, our soul, the divine spark inside of us, and our relationship with God. This loving relationship between us and God is eternal. This is the only thing we have to attain. Is not the knowledge in our mind, not even the feeling in the heart, but the depths of the experience in the soul that God loves us and everyone supremely, unconditionally, and intimately. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing else has to be attained. That's the reason why we are here. Everything else is secondary. Being a doctor, it's great. Be a doctor. How do you say? Being a janitor, it's great. Be a janitor. Having a family, it's great. Have the family. Having money, great. Have the money. But all of that is secondary to our realization that the divine's love is supreme, never wavering, and intimate. And living with Paramahansa Vishwananda for 11 years, I can tell you it's true. By seeing a man who truly knows God's love, and because he knows it, he reflects it purely with everyone he meets. It's the most moving thing that anyone could ever experience. The supreme love of the divine.
When you started your journey, were you looking for something, or were you, what was going on in your life? I bring this up because these are difficult times for a lot of people in America right now, especially in America, due to the turn of events and everything else. And, so a lot of people, probably, certainly half of the country is focused on what's wrong with us. And people are now seeking, where did compassion go? How did it go out the window? Where did respect go? How did it go out the window? So, does Paramahansa Vishwananda say anything about how to change that in this country? What we can do, or how do we find that in ourselves? Because what has also happened since the country has become so openly divided, a lot of people say, well, it's been divided for a long time, but it was just sort of hidden or secret. People didn't talk about it. And now the negative side is so emboldened because of what has happened. But a lot of people are also very, very fearful right now because, some of them grew up with parents who lived through World War II and told them stories, and they're very fearful that this country might be going that way. And here comes a man who's talking about love, love, love. And a lot of people are experiencing, and especially practitioners, yoga practitioners that I've talked to, and a lot of people, including them, are having trouble not feeling anger, not, feeling a kind of boil come up and people's tempers are short, people are jumping at each other, even husbands, wives. It's divided families even. It's causing divorces or almost divorces. So what's the answer to that?
Yeah. So Gandhi said, be the change that you want to see in the world. And this is exactly what Guruji teaches. And I know this is not the nice answer. This is not the easy answer. This is not the answer which creates quick results. But it is the only true answer that will make long-lasting change. we have to understand that the situation that we're in, especially here in America, is a culmination of previous generations. And so life is a continuation. It's not about changing our current moment for something better. It's about changing for the future, for our children and their children and their children. And so the only way to make a long-lasting change is for us to be the change we want to see. Positivity takes time to grow. We can think of it as like an oak tree versus a pine tree, right? So I grew up in the Northwoods, Wisconsin, and a lot of the forests there are now like, pine tree forest. Why? Because they came and cut everything down, and then they plant pine trees, and then after a few years they'll come and cut them down again. Now, why do they plant pine trees? Because pine trees grow fast. They're great for lumber, right? And they don't have to do anything. They never have to go water the plants, the pine trees. Mm-hmm. If they planted oak trees, well then for sure they would have to come and water them and take care of them. Because why? Their roots grow deep. Pine trees, they don't. Pine trees are very like shallow roots. And that's why any rain that comes, well, they'll just soak it right up. But pine trees will also fall extremely easy. Oak trees don't. Mm. So things that grow slowly, that take patience. Now this is a word that a lot of people don't like, but these are lasting things. And that means if I run around and tell everyone how I think the world should be, it may change for a day. It may change for a week. It may change for a couple of years, but there will be a time where everything breaks down, and we see that right now. For generations, it's not been about us being better. Mm. It's about us telling the world how they need to be. And now we see the culmination of that. Everyone is upset. Nobody is happy. Because everyone has been telling everyone for generations how they should be. The only way to make a change is for us to be the change we want to see. And then we start small. When I change, when I become more loving and understanding, because this is the only thing that will change. Having more rules, more laws, isn't going to change anything. It's just, it's not going to work, and we see that now. Only love and understanding will get rid of all of this hatred that is so prevalent in America today. And that means I need to be loving. Now the catch-22 about loving is I can't force anybody else to love. I may love you, but I can't force you to love me.
Right.
And so that means I need to be loving. I need to be understanding. I need to be calm and peaceful. The good thing is when I am that, then of course I will also gravitate towards other people like that. Then all of a sudden I'll find myself in a community of peaceful, loving people. And the more we are in that community, the more that community will grow. So that in some generations, the whole world will be like that. But we can't have the expectation that things will change right now, because they won't. And that is the thing I'm sure most people don't want to hear. But that's the truth. Because every single time we've had a difficult situation, we solve it then, and then it only creates more problems down the line.
All right, so would you say that rather than getting all bent out of shape and freaked out over everything that's happening, because we're so inclined by our acculturation in this country that this is the way we do change, right? Mm. So we run out and start doing, like you're saying, we try to change, the laws, the parameters in which we're all operating under, and that's going to supposedly fix everything. But the people don't change. Nothing's really going to change. It may work for a very short while, and we'll be right back where we were. Is that what I hear you saying?
Absolutely. I mean, look at the two of the greatest people who've ever walked the earth. Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr.
Right.
Why were they so different? And how did they become great?
Yeah.
Because, and how did they create change? Not by fighting, but by being the change they wanted to see.
I hope we can get to the point where we don't go around assassinating our teachers, you know? That would be...
Happened to Jesus.
It happens again and again. But at any rate, let's go back to the love aspect, right? Because some people look at an individual like Paramahansa Vishwananda, he's made a big point about always talking about love. It's like his main teaching, maybe his only teaching, really. Could you say that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Everything that we do, be it religious, so Hindu, or be it, non-sectarian, like our meditations, all of it is about love. Every single thing. Every single thing.
So the practices are structured in a way that brings us naturally to this experience of becoming more loving? How would you describe that?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically we have to understand, in very cliff notes, would be we have to understand the mind. Often we're only aware of our conscious mind, right? Because that's sort of where we live. But the thoughts that arise in our conscious mind are not from the conscious mind. They come from somewhere else, and that's the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind will like bubble up these thoughts or these emotions, and then it begins to color our day. And we all know that it is seemingly impossible to change our subconscious mind. The habits that we've had for a long time are hard to change. Even if we consciously want to change them, even if we feel this can't happen again, still we find ourselves doing it again.
Right.
Why? Because everything in the subconscious mind is built on one of two things, and that is either fear or love. That's it. Everything above that, yes, it gets more complicated, but that's it. Fear or love. And the meditations utilize the body-mind connection so that we enter the subconscious mind, not directly, because that's nearly impossible. Like if we were to say, okay, close your eyes and now get rid of that habit you don't like. Okay, good. No, I mean, we know that's nearly impossible. So we go a way that is indirect yet more efficient by utilizing the body to change the subconscious, to get rid of these habits and these fear that's in the subconscious so that love can be imbued there. And all our new habits, which are built upon this love, support our life and support the life of others.
Does Paramahansa Vishwananda have a saying that he goes by, or that, you know, I mean, everyone's sort of got, you know, it's like,
what's his tagline?
Yeah, what's his tagline? The Be Here Now Foundation, or Ramdas, that he says his guru gave him was love, serve, remember. And so that's their slogan, you know, love comes first, service comes second, remember God in all things. What is Bhakti Marga's slogan, and why is it meaningful to you?
Just love. These two simple words, just love. Why? Why is that our slogans? Because, well, I remember one satsang, one talk Guruji gave many years ago. He was talking, and then he stopped and he looked at everybody and he said, I'm really sorry. I'm sure this is boring for you. All I talk about is love, but I'm sorry, I don't know anything else. All I know is love, and all I know, that is who you are, and that's all you want. That's what I know. And when we put love first in our life, all of our limitations, all of our insecurities, all of our doubts and our fears are mirrored back to us, and we have the chance to change. If love isn't first, then what is first? Well, then it's our ego, our pride, our fear, our doubts, our desires. All these are limited. This isn't the divine. The divine is unlimited. And when we put the divine first, when we put love first, then all of our limitations are clearly reflected back to us. Love is a magical thing. It expands our self beyond our limited self. Our self beyond our identity. So I'm Rishi Tulsidasananda, right? So when I love somebody, I begin to their needs, their desires, their hopes, their dreams, their suffering becomes more important than mine. Their happiness becomes more important than my happiness. Matter of fact, I become happy when they're happy, right? So my identity, my self expands beyond my identity. This is magic. It doesn't make sense. It's not. We can't understand it logically. So if we take a piece of cake, and my best friend walks in the door, it's my favorite piece of cake. It's the last piece of cake. I ask him, "Would you like a piece?" He says, "Yeah, okay, I've never tried it." I am more happy that he is happy, that he has had this cake, than I have. But that doesn't make sense, because do I taste it when it's entered his mouth? No. Do the minerals and vitamins and nutrients which are inside this hopefully very, very great vegan cake, does it enter my body when he's eating it? No. Do I taste it? No. Do I have pleasure? No. Yet, I am happy when he is happy. That doesn't make sense, because if it is my favorite cake, then I should want it. I should have pleasure only when I have it. This is very egocentric. But yet, with love, my ego expands to include this other person. All I need to do is expand this to the next person, and the next, and the next, and the next, until everyone is within this bubble of love. And with every step of expansion of love, my pride, my ego, my suffering, the I, me, mine, this is where all suffering comes from. The subconscious mind thinking I, me, and mine. That's it. With every step of love, the I, the me, the mine becomes less. I become more free. I suffer less. That's how it is. And that's why Guruji says just love. Because if we want to attain God, we want to attain egolessness, we want to attain enlightenment, self-realization, God-realization, salvation, liberation, all of these words, which I tell you are just concepts, right? They're just things. Things that saints have said, attain this, so that we can start walking in a direction. Whatever you want to call it, we can attain that easily through love. Easily. Because that is inherent in love. It's inherent in love. Just love. Of course, then people start to say, yeah, it sounds nice, but it also sounds difficult. Well, if you're like me, and you're stubborn, and the mind is strong, then that's why he has the meditations, Amakriya Yoga. So that these habits which stop us, even if we want to love, even if we want to forgive. How many times have we wanted to forgive somebody that we love?
Yeah.
And we find that it's nearly impossible. It's like, even we really, really, really want to, and yet there's some little part of us that holds on to it. We all know that experience.
You mean like an ex-spouse or...
Sure. Or maybe even a current spouse.
Oh.
It's true. Maybe they did something 10 years ago, and every once in a while it comes back to the mind,
it does, doesn't it?
And you're like, and it makes you upset again.
Yeah.
Why? Because the I, the me, and the mine is still present. I can't say I fully love this person yet, if I'm holding on to this kind of stuff. That's why he gives Amakriya Yoga. That's why he comes. That's why he does his blessings. That's why he does his teachings, so that we can be free. Because if I'm still holding on to pain from the past, I'm not free.
Wow.
That's it. But if I love, I'll set myself free. Then I also give the opportunity to that person I love to set themselves free. because now I'm genuinely loving them. Because I'm free in my love, I let them be whatever they want to be. It doesn't matter. Does that mean I agree with everything they do? No. Agreeing and liking and loving, these are different things, okay? I don't have to agree when somebody says, when somebody I love, God forbid, wants to commit suicide. I can say, well, I love you, do what you want. No. Agreeing and supporting and liking and loving, these are different things. Even if they do something which I don't agree with, my love for them does not change. And that's the kind of love he has. And by just being with him, I've seen what freedom looks like. Day after day after day, I see what freedom looks like. Because I see this man who's free. He doesn't have I, me, mine. He has love, which is not self-centered.
Thank you, Tulsidas. I hope you will join us this afternoon when we broadcast part 2 of the interview with Tulsidasananda. We will also have a sample of Om chanting, which is really awesome. So drive safe, have a good day, don't work too hard, and please join us again at 3 p.m. this afternoon for Drive Time with Dharma Review.